One take, one shot, SmackDown review. This is where I do it in one take. I got one shot, no edits. And this belt right here, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin's. Stone Cold would have never stood in the ring for 8 minutes while the heel berated the crowd or himself. It's like, I could not believe I watched Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes literally just stand there while Logan Paul just went off on how great he was and how horrible everybody else was. They literally just stood there. Stone Cold did not become champion by doing that. And if you want to become champion of Wrestlechop and win this belt right here, all you got to do is comment below. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, 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 notification, and then you can win. And don't forget to do a thumbs up, baby. Yes, this thumb, up it, up the thumb. All right, so the SmackDown review. We're going to start with the main event segment, and then we'll work our way back. That way, if you're only interested in what happened at the end, you can click off the video. But I hope you watch the whole thing. I'd appreciate it. So, that said, we're at we got like 20 minutes left, and I'm like, honestly, I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad because I get it. We only get a certain number of John Cena appearances, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't only get like a certain amount of minutes for John Cena. It's like, why are they only giving us 8 minutes of John Cena for a 3-hour show? If John Cena's in the building, then freaking have him throughout the entire show. It would be so much more interesting if we got to see John Cena in the beginning, in the middle, multiple times, and at the end of the show. It's like, the dude's not coming back, so why aren't we getting the most value for our buck? And don't give me that whole, well, John Cena wants to give us nothing. You know, this is a storyline, right? John Cena actually doesn't want to give us nothing. Like, I don't understand how people are falling for that beat. John Cena is actually trying to entertain us, even though the character says he's not. So, like, I just don't get it, and I don't buy it. It's like, give us more John Cena than 7 freaking minutes in a 3-hour show. This was actually a pretty good SmackDown until the main event segment. I can't believe it. The worst part of the show was the whole Cody, Jey, Logan, John Cena stuff. Now, there was some entertaining things in it, but like for the most part, I have a yawn meter, right? Yawn meter, guess how many times I yawned? 7. Guess how many times I yawned in the first hour? 0. That means between the second hour and the final hour, I yawned 7 times. It was a decent show until they just got lazy. It all fell apart. I don't know. Does GTB only write the first hour and a half to be really decent? Because the first opening half hour was awesome and a banger, but the John Cena segment just completely. We have Cody Rhodes. He comes out, right? He's like, what do you want to talk about? And then he starts going over his, like, what he did over the last year. He's like, I called somebody and I asked him, was I a good champion? And he doesn't even tell us who it was. And then he says, yeah, they told me I was a good champion. So then I was like, cool, I was a good champion. And so I started to reflect when AJ Styles faked his retirement. KO attacked me. My boss, Triple H, pushed me. The final boss. I started thinking, wait a second. Is that it? Was that his whole year? Was Cody Rhodes able to completely sum up his whole year in about one sentence? Because that's not a good look. If you think about it, if you can encapsulate your entire year in one sentence, your title reign in one sentence, that's a pretty lame title reign. And I started thinking about it. Who did Cody beat last year when he was champion for a whole calendar year? One whole circulation around the sun, one rotation. He beat AJ Styles, Logan Paul, Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes, Kevin Owens. Is that it? He beat 5 people? Is that really it? He beat Solo. He did beat Solo twice and AJ twice. Logan Paul, Kevin Owens twice. 3 times. 3 times Kevin Owens and Carmelo Hayes. That was your year. like, whoa, dude, your title reign, maybe, I used to say your title reign was lackluster, but now that I think about it, maybe it did suck. Like what? Wow. You're booking, like, Cody, go to Triple H and say, book me stronger, dude. You need to book me stronger, because that title reign, when I really think about it, you brought it to my attention that, like, if I can encapsulate everything in one sentence, I'm like, oh, gosh. This is coming from someone who loves Cody Rhodes, but I know no one will believe me. No one's going to believe me that I actually love Cody Rhodes, because I dare said something wrong about our Lord and Savior, Cody Rhodes. Oh, man. Give me 1 second. Anyways, Cody then says, but you know what? Maybe I got a surprise for you. If you guys were hungry, do you want to eat? It's like, dude, you tried a little too hard for that pun. And then Jey Uso comes out, and I'm like thinking to myself, we got 10 minutes left of this show, and we're about to do a yeet fest? Where the heck is John Cena? It's ridiculous that we are not using John Cena in his last year like we should be. Like, his entire, he's got like 30 appearances, and what, are we only going to get 10 minutes out of these appearances? I remember in an Attitude Era, you would see Stone Cold Steve Austin like 23 times. Oh my gosh. So then we get the yeet. We go to a commercial. Great, another commercial. And then John Cena comes out, and he says that he brings out Logan Paul, and then it's just a glaze fest on Logan Paul. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie, it was entertaining. I did like how John Cena would say stuff like, "You guys are wannabes," and how that Logan Paul pays your mortgage and stuff because he's a self-made man. And then Logan Paul goes into himself, how great he is, how the crowd sucks. But that's what I'm talking about here. Literally, Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, your two top baby faces, just stood there. Literally just stood there as Logan Paul berated the crowd. These are two people who, like, why would they do that? Why would they stand there? Why would they let Logan Paul just speak ill of the people? They are the baby faces of the people. I don't get that whatsoever. It made no sense, and it made them look stupid and weak. Now then Jey Uso's like, I'm gonna beat you guys, whatever. I'm gonna beat you guys up. And it's like, come on, let's fight. Cody's like, let's fight right now. John says, nope, let's get out of here. This was an interesting little beat that was kind of subtle. John was gonna get out, but Logan Paul was like, dude, what are we doing? Let's fight them. Logan Paul actually wanted to fight, and John didn't. And when John said, no, let's go, Logan grabbed him a little, and John got pretty upset at Logan Paul. And so there's a little dissension right there, but Cody, being Cody Rhodes, doesn't exploit the weakness. He interrupts by saying, hey, what are you going to go back there and polish your peacemaker or something? And like, yeah, it was an okay line, kind of low-hanging fruit, but whatever, it was an okay line. But the fact is, he interrupted Logan Paul and John Cena about to kind of have dissension. Why would he do that? Cody Rhodes is supposed to be a smart face, and yet he then said a line that made him the enemy of both of them, and then John attacked. So instead of allowing John to have dissension in his tag team, he's now, like, he's back on the same page with Logan. They attack, they fight, they whatever, and John's out on the ring, and Logan Paul's out on the ring. I will say this. There was a super kick from Jey that actually hit him right here, Logan Paul. And Logan Paul, unlike most wrestlers, Logan Paul, like, I've seen wrestlers time and time again, they get hit somewhere they're not supposed to, and then they sell it like they got hit where they were supposed to, if that makes sense. But Logan Paul didn't. He actually sold where the impact was, and I appreciate that. That is actually how you should do it. So Logan Paul actually has a high wrestling IQ in the ring. So, like, you love him or hate him, I can't deny that. Like, I've seen time and time again, I'm like, why are you selling the move? It botched. If the move is botched, you react to the botch, not what was supposed to happen. And Logan Paul did, so I do give him credit there. So, yeah, like, this final segment segment just really, really detracted from the overall show. This was a good show until the end. So we are going to talk about the show now. I just got that out of the way. But yeah, like it really soured it. If I had to give the whole show how many chops before the main event segment, I probably would have gave it a 7. Maybe even an 8 because it was pretty decent. But now I have to lower it because, like, yeah, I got John, yeah, I got Logan, and yes, I was even entertained, but the way they made the baby faces just stand there, it made no sense to me. So that was your final segment. Let's rewind all the way to the beginning where it actually started off amazing and great. Bianca Belair came out. This is her hometown, and it was fun. She did like the rah, 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 the college song, I'm assuming, of her fake sports team, the basketball or the football college. And it was good. It was good. I think they're in Jacksonville, Florida or something like that, or no, Tennessee. They were somewhere in Tennessee, right? And it was fine. It was good. She had a good baby face reaction. Say she's come home to recover, and then Naomi appears and say, yes. Naomi comes out acting all innocent, saying, I want to be your friend again, return my calls. And Bianca's like, no, not the time, not the place. And then Naomi reveals that she went and broke into Bianca's house, and she looked at the pictures and all this stuff. I wish they would have done more. I wish they would have, like, shown us like video footage or pictures of Bianca's house, like all spray painted and stuff, caution, ha, like Naomi just being crazy and stuff, but they didn't. So a little bit of a missed opportunity, could have made it more impactful, but at the end of the day, it kept going. And then we have Jade Cargill comes out, and Jade and Bianca, they have a moment where they stare at each other because it's like they're no longer friends, but they're not really enemies either. And so Bianca just kind of leaves because now Nia comes out, and this is the triple threat qualifying match. It was a really good match. I would have to say that Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, I still hear all the time how bad they are, and I just don't see it. I really don't. Like, I think they're fine. I think they're absolutely fine in the ring. I think they put in a lot of hard work, and they are good. I think we're remembering Jade Cargill from her AEW days, and Nia from her 2018 run. She's like, they're fine now. They're fine. And then the best part is Naomi won. Naomi is doing such good character work. She was the correct winner. Very, very happy. I loved it. I was like, this is a good SmackDown. We were half an hour in. I was enjoying it. Then we go to Solo Sikoa. He's coming in. He's already kind of joking around. He has JC Mateo, horrible name, and Jacob Fatu over here. They come in, and Truth is talking to little Jimmy. And that's kind of weird. Maybe not. Maybe he's regressing because his childhood hero. Sorry about that. His childhood hero beat him, and now he has nowhere to go with it. But so little Jimmy, he's talking to him, and Solo's like, what do you do? You're talking to ghosts. And then we have a comedy segment where True says, is this your kid, to JC? Let's have a fight. Fine, go for it. Let's have a fight. Chelsea Green then has a segment with Nick Aldis, and she has like these like faces like of herself like on like a stick, so she doesn't have to reveal that she like her face is really beat up, and she's even wearing a mask. Now Nick Aldis takes the faces away, Chelsea's faces away. I think we could have done that. I think we could have had that little gag run for at least 1 week. They took it away almost instantaneous, but regardless, it gets Alba Fire a match later with Zelina Vega in this apparently never-ending feud. Then we have JC. He murders R-Truth. Yeah, that's pretty much it. R-Truth got some offense, but for the most part, this was just to give JC Mateo a spotlight. And during the thing, though, Solo does this dance, and it's just so funny. Solo is just so good. He's like kind of like Chelsea Green. You gotta always be watching this guy because he's always doing something. I think a face turn would really, really be in order for the dude. But regardless, we have Jimmy. Jimmy Uso actually comes out and makes the save. I guess they're gonna beat him down or something. And then And then Solo's kind of like, hey, Jimmy, what about, maybe us? And then he's blindsided by JC Mateo. But then Solo says, stop it, don't beat him up. It seems like that Solo is actually trying to get Jimmy back on the same page with him. Now, it was his fault, and he does need to apologize. Just like Roman needs to apologize to Jey Uso, well, Solo, you need to apologize to Jimmy. You're the reason why he left your bloodline to begin with. Losing those consequences. So just apologize, maybe. Who knows? Maybe. And then we have a massive tag team segment. The Street Profits, they come out. They're looking pretty cool. Still hate their music. Wish they got some music that would match their energy. Then who comes out? The Motor City Machine Guns. Who else? The Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and I believe there's another tag team that came out, but I can't even think of them at the moment. Oh, Fraxium, and it's like they're all like, let's not talk about the Wyatts, and then Tommaso Ciampa's like, let's have a moment of silence for us not being tag team champions or something like that, and then the lights go out, the Wyatts appear, they attack, and it's like we don't know why they're attacking. Later we do see an Uncle Howdy promo where he says, we're here to take what's ours. I don't know why he views the tag team division on SmackDown his. There's nobody there that really has any connection with Bray Wyatt or the Wyatts in general. I know Bray Wyatt was a tag team champion with Randy Orton and with Matt Hardy. Other than that, Bo Dallas, he was a champion with Curtis Axel. So I don't understand why they're going for the tag team titles. And Eric Rowan was also tag team champion with Luke Harper. So there's really not much of a connection, but who knows? Maybe I don't understand it, but it's fine for now. Let's see what happens. The Wyatts are a little chaotic. They're fighting both good guys and bad, so they are definitely neutral as of right now. So the jury's still out. I'm not going to say this sucks, but I am going to say, all right, let's progress the story just a little more. Next week, I wouldn't mind a pure Wyatt 6 promo saying why they're actually doing what they are doing. Then we have Naomi teases a cash-in on Tiffy, and then we pan over here, and it's like Alexa Bliss is like, don't worry about her, worry about me. So we have a lot of people kind of gunning for Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton looking strong still, very confident. I'm very impressed with her rising from the ashes of that horrible split screen interview like months ago. It was so bad I still remember it, thinking that her career was over, and yet Tiffany Stratton did a perfect glow up. She rose from the ashes, and she's doing a great job right now. Then we have Rey Fenix and Javon Evans versus Lagarza, which is a very random match, and we have Ethan Page on the outside, and so you have some NXT guys. Yeah, it was a crazy combination of people, and this is more of a showcase for the AAA show next week, which is also kind of wait, why are we doing this? What are we doing? And it's because WWE bought AAA. They're having a big Worlds Collide show where NXT, everybody is just on that show. It's going to be on WWE YouTube. I was thinking of streaming it, but then I realized it was on the same day as Money in the Bank, and I just don't think I have the energy to do all that. I'll probably watch it, though. It was but I gotta tell you, it was a good match. It was a really good match. It won the crowd over. I was interested. That Javon Evans, the dude should be like a luchador, because he was all over the place. He's doing some crazy moves. Him and Phoenix actually had really good chemistry, but I'm glad they lost, because you got Largaza over here. They're an actual tag team unit, so I feel like they should have won. Even though they are kind of on the jobber side, I do believe it was the right call to let an actual tag team win this match. Paige did help, but whatever. They did their finisher. I remember when I saw their finisher, I was like, oh, that's their finisher? Because I don't remember the last time I seen it, because they never they never win. But like, good job. This was a great way to showcase and get people interested in AAA, because I kind of was, but not so. But it didn't fully do the trick, but it did get me interested, piqued my interest. Largaza, the SmackDown team, actually got a win. We got to showcase both Ethan Page and Javon Evans. I think it was a win all around. Someone had to take a pin, so like, it sucks that it was Javon, but Phoenix is on SmackDown here to stay. Javon's going back to NXT, so it made sense to me. Then we have Chelsea Green. They come out. It's a secret Hervis. Elbow Fire versus Zelina Vega. This match went a little too long. I feel that Elbow Fire is definitely the jobber of the group, so for Zelina to be like a champion, I think she should have probably beat Elbow Fire about 5 minutes sooner. Honestly, it wasn't a bad match or anything. I just feel like, you're the champion and you're fighting a jobber. It just shouldn't go that long. But it was whatever. It was okay. Then we have, sorry, I'm looking at my notes right now. I have notes, not a script. We have Damian Priest comes out. And he starts talking about how he's the street. I would think when the Damian Priest segment came out, it was starting to go downhill. The whole roller coaster was like, it was a roller coaster of a SmackDown, but it was all downhill kind of with Damian Priest. I'm not saying it was bad, but I am saying that's where it kind of started to drag, and the 8 yawns, it was 8, not 7 yawns, started to actually come out. Damian Priest says, hey, you know what? I'm the king of the streets. I think that's his thing. I'm the king of the streets. I'm the streets. He says that he respects Drew McIntyre, but Drew's gone. Time to look forward. I'm going for a championship. I want you, Jacob. And it's like, if you're going to call out a champion, why not call out the John Cena? Now, I understand why, logistically, why, but at least Drew had a reason. Drew gave us a reason why he chose Jacob. He said, that's not the John I want. I want a good fight. I'm looking for a fight. That's why I choose you, Jacob Fatu. And Damian Priest didn't really say that. He basically said, I want a championship, so I'm going for you, Jacob. You see the difference? He just said, I'm going for Jacob with no reason why. But Drew was like, I want a fight and a championship, while Priest said, I just want a championship. If all you want is a championship, then go after the top title, whether or not it's John Cena's has it, because that's only storyline. If we're working within the context of what an actual person would do if this was all real life, then he should go after the top prize. That said, we have a segment, and he's going, I'm going to come after you. I respect you, Jacob, but let's go. I think this is a bad call. Jacob is too over. Even though he's still a heel, he's too over. And if you're trying to get Damian Priest over as a face, you don't put him over. You don't put him against a villain who is basically a face right now, because everyone's going to side with Jacob Fatu. They start to walk out. Jacob Fatu, he kind of eyeballs him, and then he gets in the ring. He's going to fight Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Before this segment, we had Carmelo Hayes and Miz. They kind of had a little bit of a falling out. Melo became his very confident self again, which then led Miz to feel some kind of way. Miz got very quiet when Melo was like, hey man, I got us here. I appreciate everything, but I got us here. But hey, we're still awesome. Miz didn't say anything, and then Melo said him. They went to the ring. We have a segment. Miz still helped Melo, but he was eventually injured and taken to the back. Not really injured, but injured. And then the match, it was a good match. Andrade actually won. Solo Sikoa was like, he eventually got involved and was like, hey, do the flip again. Do that flip again. Distracted Jacob, which then there was a sequence of events where Jacob gets out of play and Melo takes the pin from Andrade. Interesting choice. I don't have anything against Andrade. When it comes to in-ring ability, he's very entertaining. But when I don't know, it just felt like this should have been a Carmelo Hayes win. Either way, Andrade takes the victory. So that should be let's be honest, the guy's not gonna win. If this was betting odds, he's gonna be you bet $100 on him and he wins, you'll be a millionaire. The guy's just not gonna win. And it is what it is. Like, they've told us a story of Andrade for a year and a half now, and in that story, there's nothing that makes me believe he has a shot at it. Carmelo, you could believe that he's like a very much of an underdog and a dark horse victor, but like, you don't believe at all that Andrade could win. So I don't know, whatever. We then have we also had a Julia promo. She did a promo where there were subtitles, even though she spoke English. It was kind of a heavy accent, but I didn't feel that it was that heavy of an accent that needed subtitles. But my mom she has a heavy accent, so I'm actually more used to listening to heavy accents than most people. So maybe I'm just better at like understanding Asian accents. So you tell me in the comments below if Julia, if her accent's so strong that you can't understand her. Because I don't mind subtitles, but I would just prefer you speak your native language and then we have subtitles. But whatever. It's not like, didn't ruin the whole experience for me. And then she did kind of go up against Zelina later and said, I kind of want your U.S. title. I don't like the fact that we're teasing a Money in the Bank cash-in for a U.S. title. Let's not forget what happened to Austin Theory. That was like one of the most moronic decisions of any wrestler ever. That's like a Cody Rhodes decision. I'm going to cash in on the U.S. title. Yeah, maybe I do hate Cody. No, joking. I actually love Cody Rhodes. But he just does some stupid stuff sometimes. And then, that was a little tease there. Then we go to, I think we're done. Actually, I think we're done. Because I already talked about the main event segment, so I forgot that we just kept going. Just 2 hours. 2 hours is the perfect sweet spot. Actually, 2.5 hours even. But 3 hours is just too long. 3 hours is just too long. 8 yawns. And how many chops? I'm going to give that main event segment really took it out of me. The fact that they just stood there. I'm going to give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I give it 6 or do I give it 7 chops? That main event, I really enjoyed this. I'm giving it 7 chops. But it could have had 8. This was a really good SmackDown until the faces just stood there. I shouldn't bring down the whole show. The first half hour, Naomi, Bianca, Jade, Nia, just great stuff right there. That was just really good. Jacob and Solo, a lot of good stuff in this episode. Just you stood there. Why would you stand there and let them just be raped? Anyways, boys, girls, that's my review. 7 out of 10 chops. 8 yawns and 2 baby faces that just looked like morons, but we can rectify that later, I guess. Naomi, proceed with caution. Hope she is the winner. We'll do hot takes tomorrow, so don't forget to do a hot take in the community tab right now. And then on Sunday, as of right now, I have a best of WWE right now. We're going to try to be positive, Pete's. Yes, I was a little on the negative side towards that main event segment, but we got to call out bad storytelling when we see it, but we shouldn't just hate watch the product, and we can continue to enjoy it. So best of on Sundays, and I'll see you folks for hot takes tomorrow. Boys, girls, have yourself a wonderful evening, a wonderful day, a wonderful whatever. See you, bye.